In the last 2 decades, tech has advanced rapidly, moving from Web 1 to Web 3. Technology has not only taken some jobs away, but it has also created some more. Today we meet with the CEO of Moringa School, the software engineering school in Nairobi.
My name is Snehar Shah. I'm the CEO of Moringa School based here in Nairobi.
Technology has made education accessible to everyone. This means you can be hired in companies like Google without a degree as long as your skills are top-notch. I mean, why not? Most of these companies were started by dropouts anyway.
So, Moringa School, unlike universities or colleges, we don't offer any degrees or diplomas. We just deliver quality training and make sure that our students are able to be to start their careers and then be able to be placed into jobs. So, whilst giving them that sort of technical training, we also give soft skills training and make them, as employer ready as possible. So for us, we don't rely on papers or certificates. What we rely on is our outcomes and the impact that we're making, and our reputation is what we stand for.
Software engineering is diverse. The Moringa School CEO shares with us several courses people with an interest can undertake.
What software engineering entails is there's a front end part of it and a back end. So front end is about developing the apps, etc. The back end is about having the technology to manage those apps or the front end. So we provide a 5-month comprehensive bootcamp training for that, to make you to what is called to be a full stack junior developer, and then we have our graduates who can go and get jobs with the big tech companies, startups, or even become entrepreneurs themselves. The other course that we offer is in data science. Now again, with technology, and you don't only need to work in technology, but you can be working in any industry. And data is very much also in demand. Analysis of data. We've also heard about the concept of big data. So data analysts are also very much in demand. So one can do a course in data science. Then we also started a new course in product design, which we call UI UX. So basically that is a more non-technical course. So if you don't need to be a big technology nerd or sort of a computer scientist to be able to come and train with us. You can just have the basic education, being reasonable in maths and English and science, and then you can pursue a course in product design. So that's also another 5-month boot camp. And then we also offer short-term courses for upskilling in specific fields. Cybersecurity is a big growing trend. We offer courses in DevOps. So DevOps is now again how do you manage the technology. And then we do specialized courses in other interesting fields like artificial intelligence or AI, machine learning, robotics, and there's many others that we also can offer.
If you have a passion for logical thinking, problem solving, if you're excited by innovation, or maybe you just love sitting down facing a screen for hours wondering whether your code will work, software engineering is definitely the place for you.
It's a great place to be in the tech field now, because the demand exceeds the supply. Not only locally, all these startups are looking for tech talent, but also globally there's a shortage. So before, all these US and European companies, they used to go to places like Eastern Europe to find talent, but there it's now saturated. Places like India is also getting expensive, and also there's a lot of churn happening. So for remote working as well, people are seeing Africa as the next frontier, and our reliance on tech will only grow. So if that's a career that attracts you, Of course, there's demand for other careers as well. Like there's always be demand for doctors or lawyers or accountants, etc. But also, I think, in the next decade, a lot of those trends will also change because of automation, because of artificial intelligence. So people are now saying that you may not need lawyers in the future as well as you need now, because a lot of that work can be automated. But for someone to drive all that automation, there will always be demand for tech talent.
Kenya is gradually becoming the hub of technology in Kenya with at least 100 tech startups.
First of all, it's quite vibrant, and just like how we led in the field of mobile money, we have an opportunity to also lead in the space of startups or technology entrepreneurship. The great thing about the Kenyan youth or even African youth is we have, at least in Kenya, we have a good education system. English is spoken quite well, and those are the building blocks that one can build on. And also our culture here is maybe unlike some other specific countries in Africa, Kenyans are quite entrepreneurial. So that's something that we can leverage. Although I would say that we've just hit the tip of the iceberg, right? If you look at the numbers and then analyze them, and then Google and Accenture, they did a report about 6 months ago trying to quantify, first of all, in Africa, how many software developers do they exist. So in our whole continent, for like more than 1 billion people, we have only probably about 500,000 software developers, of which 80,000 are currently in Kenya. So 80,000 out of a population of 50 million and growing. So there is definitely the potential to really grow the numbers and our talent and skills. And of course even despite the volatile markets, the startup ecosystem is quite thriving here. We have still more and more venture capital investment coming. Yes, we hear about some blow-ups, which happens everywhere in the world, and I think that there are some statistics that out of all new businesses, probably under 10% survive. And if we are to have a growing, vibrant ecosystem, then there needs to also be appetite for risk, appetite to experiment. So yeah, I think this is just the beginning. There's so much more potential to grow.
Despite multiple startups being started every year, the business environment has been brutal to them.
So, I mean, I believe, in order to be successful, at some point you also have to fail, right? I mean, in terms of probably the hundreds, if not thousands of startups or tech companies that are out there, you can probably count, with your hands how many have sort of publicly failed recently. So I don't think that's a bad thing. That's showing that there is appetite for risk. I mean, regardless of some of these failing, there are also many success stories in terms of how some of the companies have raised the kind of funding that they've attracted, and that continues to grow. And I think beyond the companies, we have to look at all these companies. What kind of problems are they solving? And probably every week, if not every day, you hear of new startups still cropping up. You mentioned in the fintech space, in the lending space, there's still so much potential to grow the economy. In the health space or in the entertainment space, or there are many other fields where there's still room for innovation.
The entrepreneurship effort in the African tech industry isn't going unnoticed. Funds are being made available to these startups.
The reason why United States is still, or the Silicon Valley, where a lot of these unicorns are born, again, is because of the appetite for risk there, and the room for experimentation, and for that experimentation there is venture capital available. That is also now being made available here, of course, by some of the institutional investors, a lot of high net worth individuals from outside. You have, the big companies like, Google or Microsoft and the likes. They have their own, venture funds. A lot of competitions where there's startup capital being made available. There's also so much more mentorship that is also coming, with the funding, because funding on its own is not enough. I'm quite also privileged to recently have been selected by an institution called Techstars. So Techstars is a global institution where they provide funding as well as mentorship. So I've become a mentor for Techstars, and we've identified so many African companies in the pipeline to be funded. So yeah, there's not a short of foreign capital. When we look at our country as well, there's a lot of wealthy, Kenyans also here. A lot of them have been putting their money in real estate or in banks or in bonds or probably in the stock markets. But we're also seeing a growing appetite to diversify, those investments and actually now support our local startups. I'm also on the side part of a couple of angel investment groups where we identify certain investment opportunities, but also we get quite involved in investing not only from the funding side, but sort of mentoring the founders, also using our business networks to bring value to those kind of companies. So all these trends are continuing to grow, which can only lead to growth, not only of the economy, but also for the welfare of our population as well.